When I was growing up, every Saturday my mom would assign us one of the family rooms to clean. The living room, the kitchen, dining room, whatever. And we couldn't go out and play until we had finished cleaning whatever room we were assigned to clean. It was not usually the same every week. Mom was trying to be fair. And she said it was our responsibility to clean it, not hers, since we were the ones who were making the house messy and dirty. And we're a part of a family, and so we had a responsibility to keep the family house the way it was supposed to be. Now the thing is, my mom had a very particular way of understanding what it meant to keep something clean. And so, like, cleaning the living room meant, moving all the furniture, vacuuming under all the furniture, vacuuming all the furniture, moving everything off of every piece of furniture and wiping it down and putting wax on it. And we didn't have a wall-to-wall carpeting, so we'd have to use Old English on the part of the floor that could be seen. Cleaning the kitchen, now this didn't happen every week, this happened about every 3 or 4 months. Cleaning the kitchen thoroughly meant taking everything out of the cabinets and wiping them down with ammonia. Everything came off the countertops and was fully cleaned. Everything came out of the fridge, and the fridge was washed down completely, and so on. The floor was washed and waxed, and honestly on our hands and knees, so that it would be cleaned properly. And for my mom, this had to be done in a very particular way, or it just wasn't really cleaned. Well, this particular Saturday, I'll never forget it. My mom came home, and I was sitting in the kitchen eating something, I think, and she said, "Brian, did you clean the kitchen?" Now, you would have thought, if I was smart, that I would have said, "No, Mama, I will be getting to it, though." But that's not what I said. I said, "Yes, Mom, I did." And so she said, "Are you sure you really cleaned it?" I was like, "Well, yeah." And she gave me one more chance and asked me one more time. And at that point she said, "Well, clearly I did not do a good enough job teaching you how to clean the kitchen. So I'm going to have to show you again how to do it." And I had to sit in the corner while she sat and while she went about cleaning the kitchen, explaining everything I had missed, everything I had done wrong. And if I had done it the way she had taught me, it would take about an hour to an hour and a half. I sat there for 4 hours as she retaught me how to clean the kitchen. Let's just say Mom never had to do that again. I understood her plan. And I made sure anytime I was told to clean the kitchen, I followed that plan exactly. The reality is, God really does have a plan for us. And that's, in a sense, as we enter into the season of Advent, that's really what Advent is about, what Christmas is about. It's about helping us to recognize God has a plan for humanity as a whole, and for us in particular. And that plan really is ultimately about salvation. It's about getting us to heaven. That's what God wants. God wants that more than anything else. Part of the problem is, I think, we've lost sight of God's plan because we've sort of have this built-in presumption, which is really a sin, that in a sense we have a right to heaven. Unless you've done something really, really bad, you're going to get to heaven. But Jesus actually, if you read the scriptures over and over and over, makes it really clear. Getting to heaven's not easy. As he describes it, it's a narrow and rocky road. The road to salvation is wide and easy. The road to damnation is wide and easy. The road to salvation is that narrow and rocky road. There's a particular way of getting there. And Jesus lays that out for us. In the season of Advent, the plan really is about helping us to remember, well, that Jesus is coming again. That's really what the season of Advent is about. Jesus is coming again. And we need to be ready for that. We need to be ready for that moment when Jesus walks through the door, when Jesus shows up. And we have to ask ourselves, is the last thing I just did the last thing I want to do before I come face to face with Jesus? Is the last thing I just did what God wants me to do? Advent is that time to stop and to pause and to really look at our lives, to sort of take stock and to see, are we really accomplishing God's plan? Not what we think it should be, but what it really is. And how can we tell if we're accomplishing God's plan? Really is kind of simple. As I start talking, will people hear Jesus? As I start acting, will people see Jesus? That's really what it comes down to. Will they hear and see Jesus through me? And how do we know that? How do we know whether that's true or not? It really comes down through prayer, scriptures, going to Mass. All of those things will help us to understand what is God's plan for us here and now. Who is it that God is calling me to be? Because God does have a plan for you. And if you've messed it up anyway, because I can tell you, I've messed up many times God's plan in my life. That's why we have the sacraments of confession and the Eucharist, to sort of get us back on track, to unfold and understand God's plan in our life. Advent is a great time to just stop and take stock of asking ourselves, am I really ready to see Jesus? God is giving us the time. Don't be like me with my mom, where she had to ask me 3 times and then basically sit down and painfully show me what I had done wrong. Know that God is asking you, are you sure you're ready? Are you sure you're prepared? And try to answer those questions honestly. God bless.